Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I've got a declutter video today. I'm going to go through my entire makeup collection category by category and work out what I want to declutter. And this has kind of stemmed from recently having my colour season done. So I figured out what colour season I am and I've gone through my makeup collection, and I have put up a video about that as well, along with a couple of videos where I've done a full face of makeup in my season and out of my season. So I have identified that there are quite a few bits of makeup that aren't in my season and I want to declutter those. But I also thought it would be a good idea to just go through my entire makeup collection anyway and see if there are any other products that don't work for me and I do want to declutter. So we are on the floor today, we're on the carpet. I've got this beautiful teal towel down to stop my carpet getting any potential bits of makeup on it. So we're going to go through my makeup and see what products I want to keep and what I want to declutter. And we're going to start off with the primer category. I only have two. I've got the NYX Plump Right Back Primer, which is a hydrating primer. It's good, but it's not amazing. It's not as hydrating as I want it to be. I much prefer the Bobbi Brown Face Base. And I've then got a brand new one. This one I've only used twice. I got this in the post the other day. This is from Vive and this is the Skin Nova. So these two can both stay. So next I've got my foundations. I have 5 foundations. I've got 4 liquid and 1 powder. So let's start from left to right. So this one is the Bare Minerals Original Loose Powder Foundation. This is a really pretty foundation. It gives you a very natural, radiant looking complexion. It's a bit more forgiving than a liquid because you don't really get those kind of like telltale signs around like your hairline. It does blend in really beautifully, but this does take a long time to use because you get a better application, a better final look the longer you buff it into your skin. Therefore, the longer you take at applying this foundation, the better your makeup's going to look. And I just don't really reach for this. If I'm in a rush, this is one that I definitely don't go for. And I've barely kind of touched this over recent years. I did have it in my recent Shop My Stash, but I only used it about 5 times. And then outside of that, it's not really one that I reach for. I don't really like a powder foundation anymore, especially now that my skin is a lot more dehydrated. I find that a lot of powders aren't the best option for my skin. And I tend to forget about this one. It sat in my foundation category for quite some time because I like that it gives me more of like a natural look, and it's a powder option, so it gives me some variety. But I think this is one that if I was to declutter, I wouldn't miss it. So I think it's probably time for me to declutter this one. Like I say, I don't really think I'm gonna miss this foundation, miss having this in my collection. And also I do want to explore a lot more of those tinted moisturiser type products instead of powders like this. So this is going to be my first declutter. And then all of these are new. So this one is my most recent one, my L'Oreal True Match one. This one isn't going anywhere, and neither are any of them, to be honest, because the NARS Sheer Glow and the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk are like my 2 favourite all-time foundations. I really like the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat. I find this one is a little bit hit and miss though. There are some days where my foundation looks really obvious and quite kind of textured, but then other days where it looks really luminous. So this is one that I won't repurchase, but I do not want to declutter it. I'm happy to continue using it. So down to 4 foundations now. Okay, so these are my colour correctors and my concealers. I've only got one colour corrector. This is quite new and I love it. This is the Bobbi Brown Stick Corrector in the shade Light Bisque. This one can stay. These two are very new. So this is a mini NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and the Vive Modern Radiance Concealer. Like both of these two, so these two can stay. However, I am gonna declutter this one. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I like that this provides really good coverage, but the shade match for me is all wrong. This is in the shade Porcelain, and it's very dark, it's very yellow. That is it swatched on my hand there. And I'm intrigued how it compares to the other concealers actually. Let's just have a little look. So this is the Vive one. Actually, it's not that different, but weirdly on the face it just looks really yellow. And then let's compare it to the NARS one quickly. Now the Vive one and the NARS one are slightly lighter, but also this one has gone off. The Too Faced one now really smells. It smells quite strongly of like petrol, and it's a bit vinegary. And this only has, is it 12? A 12-month shelf life. I didn't buy this last year, and I definitely didn't buy it the year before because that was when I was on my year-long no-buy. So this is at least 2 years old. It's probably closer to like 2.5, I would guess. And it smells. These two do not smell. This one does. So this one has gone off, and I'm not loving the shade as well. So this one will be decluttered. So I'm down to 2 concealers and a colour corrector. I've got 3 bronzers. I'm not going to get rid of any of them. This is the Fenty Shady Biz one that's in my project pan. I've then got a new one. This is my only cream one. This is the Revolution Ultra Creamy Bronzer in the shade Light. Love this. And then I've got my Vive Bronzing Duo in the shade Light as well. So all of these bronzers can stay. I've got 8 blushes. This is a brand new one. I've only had this for a few days. This is the Vive Sunset Blush Balm in the shade Pesca. This is a beautiful liquid blusher. I have put up a review video of this, so I will link that. So this one can definitely stay, as can the mini Rare Beauty one in the shade Joy. I've then got another Rare Beauty one. This one is brand new. This is the Melting Blush, and this is in the shade Nearly Apricot. This one can also stay. I did identify this Stila one in Lilium as a colour that doesn't really work for me. This was a little bit too cool toned, but I've started applying this with my fingers and it diffuses it out so much nicer than with a brush, and it's actually a lot more wearable that way. So this one can stay. I was thinking this would be a declutter, but this one can stay, which I'm really pleased about because it is a really beautiful blusher and it's so lovely to work with. So those ones can stay. Now onto my 4 powder ones. This is Milani Luminoso, very pretty shimmery blusher. It's got a bit of iridescence in there. You probably don't need a highlighter with this one because it's a little bit of like a 2-in-1. This one can stay. And I've then got 3 powder ones from Vive. So this one is one that I am actually going to declutter. This is in the shade Sorbet. So it is a bit like a coral, but there is too much pink in this. If there was more orange in this, if this was much more of an orangey coral, this one could work, and this one I would end up keeping, but actually this does lend a little bit too cool tone for me, so I am going to declutter that blusher. And then these 2 can stay. This is Pesca, so this is the powder version of this blusher. Love that one. And then I've got Piazza, which is slightly darker. It's more of like a rust terracotta, like a sunburnt blusher, and that one's lovely as well, so that one can stay. So I'm now down to 7 blushes. Next we've got highlighter. This is my newest highlighter. This is the Vive Skin Dew in an XL size. I got this for either birthday or Christmas. Really like this. It's a beautiful, warm, golden shade. Not too keen on the applicator though. It's got this little twist, and then quite a lot of product can actually come out of this, so it's not the most user-friendly of packaging, but it's a lovely shade. It's a lovely highlighter, so that one can stay. This one is the mini Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter that is in my project pan. I've now removed the stopper and I don't have a load of this left. I think probably another 2 months and I will be done with this. This one is much nicer as a liquid highlighter just on the cheekbones, but usually people just apply this all over their face. That's not really for me. I don't really like how that looks when I apply it like that. I wouldn't repurchase this one, but this one can stay for now. I'm happy to just pan this one up until it's completely done. This one, this mini Rare Beauty liquid highlighter in the shade Mesmerise, is also in my project pan, and I don't have a lot of it left. You can probably see here that there's not much product in it because I'm starting to scrape away at the sides. This is a cool toned icy pink, so this doesn't suit me. This isn't the most flattering of shades for me. And I was thinking I can keep this, I'll keep this until it's completely used up, that's fine. But I don't want to be keeping makeup that doesn't really suit me, so this one can also be decluttered. So I'm down to 2, the Vive and the Charlotte Tilbury. Powders, I do actually have 3, but the other one is in my handbag and I can't be bothered to get up and go and get it. It's the Fenty Invisimatte Blotting Powder. That one I really like. That one just lives in my handbag because I kind of use that on the go. This one is the Vive one. This is new and I really like this. I think it's a beautiful powder, so this one can stay. And then I've got a loose powder from Laura Mercier, which I use to set my under eyes. So 3 powders, they all have different uses and I like all 3 of them, so all 3 can stay. Face palettes, I've only got one. I've got this Vive Dimensions face palette, which is a limited edition one. I'm going to keep this because this is absolutely beautiful. I love the quality of Vive makeup, so that one can stay. I have 2 face and eye palettes, both by Laura Geller. This TGI Thursday one is a bit more vampy. You've got some darker shades in here, an icy pink highlighter and like a tawny rose blusher. And then the Sunday Funday one is full of warm browns, coppers, golds. I prefer this one. I like both of these, but I don't want to be taking either one of these into 2024. I want to work on getting more use out of these palettes this year, and then I will be done with them because I've started to notice that the quality isn't as good. I'm trying to hit pan on this shade here, but the pigmentation isn't great. You've got to use a lot of product to get it to show up, so I think they're probably starting to be a bit past their best now, but I'm happy to keep hold of them for the rest of the year, but next year they will be gone. Eyeshadow primers, I've just got two. I'm trying to pan this NYX one, but it is still going strong. Once that has been panned, I will use the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly, so both of these can stay. I've got a glitter primer. I categorise this separately from my other eyeshadow primers because I tend to only use this with really shimmery, glittery eyeshadows. I really like this. This helps the vibrancy and the intensity of the shimmers shine that bit more, so this one can stay. Eyeshadow sticks, I've got three. I have two by Vive here. These are going to start to be out of date soon, and the quality of cream shadows, eyeshadow sticks does degrade quite quickly, so I do want to work on using these two up. I've got this one in the shade Sand and this one in the shade Camel. Lovely shades, lovely eyeshadow sticks. I'm going to keep both of those, but I am going to get rid of this one, this Kiko one. This is in the shade Taupe, but it's very cool toned. Now, Taupe is a real hit and miss shade, I find. I find that it can either be really cool toned or actually quite warm, but this is a cool toned grey purple, and it's just not the right shade for me. It makes my eyes look quite dull, makes them look a bit more sunken, highlights my dark circles a bit more. So I am going to declutter this one, but the quality is great. It's kind of on par with the Vive quality for a fraction of the price, so I would be interested in buying more of the Kiko eyeshadow sticks, but I've just got to make sure I get the colour right. So 3 down to 2. So these are my eyeshadow palettes. I've had to zoom out a little bit so you can see them all. I'm going to keep hold of all of these. Now, I did notice in my video where I went through my makeup and determined whether the makeup was suitable for my skin tone or not, that about half of Norvina isn't in my skin tone. There's about a 50-50 split of cool and warm tones in Norvina, along with Modern Renaissance. And then a similar sort of thing with Vive Muse as well. But I do like all of my palettes, so I am going to keep all of them. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on the warmer shades within these 3 palettes and not the cooler tone shades. I've got one eyeshadow duo. It's this one here by NARS. It's in the shade Isolde. I've hit pan on this one here. You might kind of see the pan. This is a beautiful duo. I absolutely love it, so I'm going to keep this. I've got 3 new loose pigments from Peaches and Cream. I bought these during the Black Friday sales. The one called Peach is in my Shop My Stash and it's absolutely beautiful. I've not yet tried Fangulous, but I've tried Gatsby. So I know that I love these 2, but I'm going to keep hold of all 3 anyway, because like I say, they're new and they're just really beautiful. A great topper for any eyeshadow look. Right, I've got some eyeshadow singles here. So in this palette, I've got some MAC and Makeup Geek eyeshadow singles. I've gone through these over the past couple of years and decluttered some shades that don't work for me. So I know that all the shades in here are my kind of tones. They're warm, they're earthy, and the quality of them are still great. And I've had these for probably about 7-8 years now, but they still work absolutely fine. So I'm going to keep all of these ones in this palette. These 3 are new. This is the Kiko Wet Eyeshadow one. I'm still a little bit unsure as to what I think about this one, but I'm going to keep hold of it and keep trying it out. This is another Kiko one. This is a jewel-toned dark green, beautiful shade. And this is one from Lisa Eldridge, because she came up with some eyeshadow palettes recently, but I didn't want to buy a palette, so I just bought a single shade. This is Madrigal. This is a beautiful yellow-green shimmer, absolutely gorgeous. So all of these are staying. All of my eyebrow products can stay as well. I'm panning these 2. The eyebrow gel doesn't really feel that wet anymore, so I think I'm really close to using it up. And I can get through this NYX Micro Brow very quickly. It takes me about 2 months to pan one of these because I've done that a couple of times in the past. And then I've got this Kiko pencil that I'll work on, so all 3 of these can stay. Mascaras, I've got 4. I'm using the Clinique one. But this one I'll be done with very soon because it's only got a few days left, and then this will be an empty. And then I'm also using this Maybelline Lash Sensational one as well. I use this one first and then my tubing one because the tubing mascaras don't really give you much volume. So I use a volumizing mascara first, but in case this smudges, I then go over the top with the tubing one. So once I'm done with the Clinique tubing one, I'll then use this one, which is by Maybelline. This is a Snap Mascara, and this apparently is tubing, so it'll be interesting to see what these two Maybelline ones are like together. And then I've got this Mini Max Stack. This is open. I only opened it a few weeks ago, I think. This is black. I don't use a black mascara anymore, but it's a really nice mascara. It gives a load of volume, so I might layer these as well. I might go in with the MAC one first and then the brown tubing one, and see how that looks. So all four can stay. I don't really have an issue with mascaras as well. I tend to kind of use one for about 3 or 6 months, depending on how long it says you can use it for, and then get rid. I'll only declutter a mascara if I absolutely hate it, and I like these, so these can all stay. Okay, next we've got some eyeliners. So I have one liquid eyeliner, which is this brown one here. This is actually out of date, so I'm probably going to include this in a project pan and get it used up because I really like it, so I don't want it to dry out. And then I've got 3 pencil ones. These two are by Kiko. I've got a brown one and a green one that matches the colour of my eyes. Love the quality of these, so these two can stay. I'm going to keep the papyrus one because this is a great shade for my waterline. This one by Peaches and Cream is in the shade Nile, and this isn't really my kind of colour. It's not the best colour for me, but I love it, and I think I can use this up fairly easily. So I can use it all over the lid and blend it out, or in the waterline with a copper lid is really beautiful. So although it's not my colour, I love the formulation of the eyeliners, and I love the colour of it anyway, so that one can stay. I'll just work on panning it. But I am going to declutter this Charlotte Tilbury one. This I picked up because this was a good shade match for green eyes, but I'm just not the biggest user of pencil eyeliners. The shades are really lovely, they're creamy, they stay put, but I just don't really reach for shades like this, so I'm gonna declutter this one. Right, we're on to lip products now, and this is probably where we're going to get the most declutters because there are quite a few lip liners and lipsticks that aren't in my season and that I just don't enjoy using. So let's start off with lip liners. This is an orange base red. This is fairly new, so this one can stay. I've got 4 fairly new ones from NYX, but there are going to be 1 or 2 shades that I am going to declutter. This is Global Citizen. This one suits me absolutely fine because this is a warm toned orangey brown. This one is Nude Pink, and this is one that I am going to declutter. I used this in my recent Shop My Stash, and it's too much of a blue-based pink, so that one can be decluttered. Next, I've got Peekaboo Neutral. This one is fine because this one is much more of that true neutral. It's somewhere in between a cool and warm shade. That one is absolutely lovely. That one can stay. And then I've got Natural. And this one is a bit more brown. This one is also warm toned, so this one can stay as well. And then I've got 5 lip liners from Vive. First up is Velvet Sands. This one can stay because this one is quite similar to Global Citizen, so it is that light peachy nude brown. That one can stay. But then I think I'm probably going to end up decluttering the other 4. This one is in the shade Rumour, and this is far too dark for me. I don't wear lip colours that are this dark, especially if it's a brown. This is great if you love that kind of 90s supermodel lip, but I don't go for that. I don't like this one on me. This one can be decluttered. I've then got another brown. This one is in the shade Bark, and this one is just a bit muddy. It's not a flattering brown at all. I really don't like it, and on me it actually pulls quite cool toned, so this one can also be decluttered. And then I've got 2 pinks. This one is in the shade Stupid Cupid, and this is another cool toned pink. It's a bit darker, well, it is a lot darker actually than Nude Pink from NYX. Not my shade as well. That one can be decluttered. And then I've also got Bewitched, which on me is purple. It is a cool tone purple, and on me, to be blunt, I find it horrible on me. It's not flattering at all. So that one can also be decluttered. So I'm keeping these 5 lip liners here. So the MAC one, the 3 NYX ones, and 1 Vive one. and then I'm decluttering these 5. So I've got 1 NYX lip liner and 4 Vive ones, so I have halved my lip liner collection. Okay, lipstick collection next. This is a MAC one. It's quite a fairly dark burnt orange red. I love that, and I love the formulation of these Powder Kiss Velvet Blur Slim Sticks, so this one can stay. I've then got a similar shade from Estee Lauder, but I think it's a little bit more vibrant. Yeah, it's more vibrant. It's more of that kind of truer burnt orange, so that one can stay as well. This one can be decluttered. This is by MAC and Nick Chapman. I don't have much of it left anyway. I was working on panning it last year and I made some really good progress with it. I am just not into light peachy coral shades like this. It's far too light on me. I need something with a bit more earthiness and a bit more richness behind it. And I feel like I've kind of had my use out of this. You know, look how much is left. I have tried really hard to pan this, so I'm just not into this one anymore. That one can go. I've got 4 Vive lipsticks here. Now, first up is Promise. This one is a definite declutter because on me, this one is purple. It swatches quite nicely on my hand, but on my lips it is purple and it's not flattering at all. And it does look really cool toned on my hand here actually. So that one can be decluttered. Next is Cherub's Kiss, and this is another declutter as well because this is a blue-based pink. This was in my recent Shop My Stash and it's just not flattering at all. So that's another one that can be decluttered. But I'm going to keep these 2. Power Suit is my favourite because it's a burnt orange. It's really warm, it's really rich. That one's great for the autumnal months. And then I've got Coming in Hope, which is okay, but on me, I need a bit more earthiness. So these 2 layered together are really lovely. So I'm going to keep these 2 Vive lipsticks. And then I've got 6 from House of Colour. These are all brand new and they're all in my season. So I know they all work for me. So these ones can stay. So out of my lip colours then, I now have 10. And I'm decluttering 3. I'm decluttering the MAC Nick Chapman one and the 2 Vive ones. I've got 1 liquid lip. This is from House of Colour and this is also in my season and it's new and I love the colour, so this one can stay. And then I've got 4 lip glosses. This one is brand new. This one only arrived a couple of days ago. This is the Lip Dew from Vive in the shade Pesca. This is what I wanted the original Vive Lip Dew to be like because this one has no glitter in it at all. I really didn't like the glitter in the original Lip Dew. This doesn't provide much of a peachy effect to my lips, to be totally honest with you. My lips are naturally very cool toned pink, so this is much more of like just a clear lip gloss, but it's really beautiful in texture. It's non-sticky, it's so hydrating, it's really, really lovely. And then I've got 3 lip glosses from Kiko. I've got clear, I've got like a neutral brownie pink, and then I've got a shimmery peachy apricot shade. Love all 3 of these. These are like a glass effect on your lips. Also not sticky as well, but I do want to work on using these a lot more. So these are probably going to appear more in things like Shop My Stashes and Project Pans. So all 4 of these can stay. So this is what I'm going to be decluttering then. So in total we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 bits of makeup that I'm going to be decluttering, and most of this I am actually going to pass on to my boyfriend's sister. I told her that I might be decluttering some makeup and she was like, yes, I'll have it, not a problem. So most of this will be going to her, so it's nice that somebody can be using this makeup. So mostly pink, purple, cool tone makeup that I'm going to be getting rid of, and then the concealer is out of date and smells really nasty, and then this powder foundation I don't really use. So quite a successful declutter, I think, and it's nice to kind of streamline my makeup collection and know that pretty much all of the makeup that I own now suits me and suits my season. So I hope you found that interesting. I love to watch declutter videos. I think they're probably one of my favourite videos to watch. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please also subscribe if you haven't as well. It would be lovely to have you here. Have a lovely rest of your day, guys, and I will see you very soon for my next one. Bye.